has finally run out. You're done. You're done. Oh, thank God. Finally. I called it like a few weeks after this card came out that this was gonna get banned. I called it. I knew it was broken. I knew it. And I knew it because it's so easy to tell. You can tell it almost immediately when a card comes out in like, or anything in a game comes out that's new and that changes the game or has any impact on the game at all. You always can tell if it's broken or not, like immediately. All you have to do is just ask the question. Oh, so for this thing, is there anything that's as good? Is there another card that's as good as this one? No? Okay. So the decks that have this card, is there another deck that's worth playing? That's as good? No. No? Okay, so Tron is not as good as Four Color Snow, is what you're saying. Okay, so I should not play Tron. I should play Four Color Snow. Right. Question can be asked of Callblade or Hogak is a fresh one that recently went a few bannings within that deck in Modern. The question is like just usually, can you beat this? If not, why are you bothering to play anything else? That question should not be something that is asked and you can get an answer very quickly. The faster that you can get an answer to that question, usually the worse or the better the deck is. So I could immediately tell that this card was bad for the format, and you can just tell by the win rate of the deck. I believe was part of the reasons for banning it. Like it only made up a certain percentage of the format. I think it was like 25% of the format, like under that, and it was putting up 55% of the wins in tournaments, and that is obviously a bad sign. And if it was left like that for any longer, it would have ended up being a format that was primarily composed of decks that are four-color snow or decks that can beat four-color snow. So it would be mono green Stompy, or it would be four-color snow. That's what you would be playing. And cards like this usually make the format worse to build in. It just makes building a deck in the format far harder. I know this one makes it easier to splash more colors, which you would think makes it easier, but you have to think about the decks that are actually playing this, and if you're not playing this, you actually have to figure out what cards beat it. You have to figure out the cards that can beat it. You have to figure out if there are any. And unfortunately, there aren't really a lot of things that can actually beat this because it's one mana, so to get a tempo loss, if this card is countered or destroyed, you're not at a tempo loss because typically they would have spent more mana to get rid of this card than it would have cost you to play this card. And you're really not down in cards because it is a 1-for-1 on the card. You draw a card when it enters. So if they had used permanent removal to get rid of it, like actual naturalize or something of the like a shatter or whatever, then yeah, it would have actually been a 2-for-1 because that means they would have had to have spent one card to get rid of this card, and you would have drawn a card off this. So you would be up one card in that transaction, and they would have lost a mana. So this thing is very obviously just busted in that deck, and it allowed for that 4-color nonsense. The closer that you get to 5-color nonsense, the worse format is, because then it just means that you have to only choose what the best possible cards are. You just choose only the good cards, and you just play only the good cards. There's not a lot of variation or reason to play anything besides the absolute very best. There's fewer deck restrictions because the mana restrictions are significantly lower. Normally, a deck is stuck with just its colors and has difficulty splashing beyond. But this just made it far too easy to get only the good cards. You no sacrifice for anything, not choosing, not having to like choose only the cards within its colors. Just choose any good card in any color. One of the worst parts about having a card like this in a format simply is you start seeing things like the sideboards end up making up more and more and more of cards that just fight decks that use this card and fighting this card. And a lot of times the sideboards aren't enough, so you got to switch to a deck like Green Stompy that's good against it. And sometimes if that's not enough, people will just play the one good deck. They'll play just 5-color snow, or 4-color snow, or 3-color snow. In this case, 4-color snow was the best one, so that's the one that everyone went with. I'm just glad that it's over. I'm glad that this card is done, and I'd really like to do a whole video on how to identify busted cards a little bit easier and how to do it even faster. So that way we don't have to deal with this thing or any card like this for more than a week. I honestly hope that it gets to a point in the future where people can literally sit down and do a quick math problem and just say to themselves, oh, it's too good, the game is revolving around it, and there's not anything better. This is the only good choice. And then it's done within a week, preferably. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. Usually rules committees take forever to decide on things, so might be looking at a future Eldrazi winter at some point if it's not corrected. Anyway, enjoy playing more Pauper and look forward to my next video, Pauper Lands. I'm going to be playing Pauper Lands tonight, and I'm going to be trying to put a video together, a nice little clip, a nice little video of me just playing through a tournament with the deck, or I should say a league, or whatever. I'm gonna find whatever I can play online, if there's anything like that, that I can just quickly queue up and play through. Look forward to that video coming out the day after this one. Have a nice night, and coming in for that face touch.